saw you sort of running underwater on treadmills, doing all this crazy stuff. Is there anything from this training camp that you can take into your UFC training camps now, sort of new skills that you learn?
I built an incredible engine. Make no mistake about that. Although 30 minutes is, I went 25 minutes, I got into the best shape of my life. So I'm just going to keep going with it, keep going with it. And then also know that, like in this camp, it was like round 1 to 8 was the fight. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 was my friends, more people I'm comfortable with, just to get to the 12th round. Because I had to get to the 12th round in sparring comfortably and safely. And because if I'd done it too early, I could have picked up an injury, lost out on the fight, lost out on the whole event, and hampered everything. So that was the goal. This time, I'd probably switch it around. I'd have round 1 to 8 heavy, real competitive, and then I just have a heavier opponent on me, putting the pressure for the last 4 rounds, and I just have to survive in there. And I honestly, truly feel if I'd have done that, I would have been laughing in that fight. But look, you live and learn. That's what we say. You don't lose. You either win or you learn.
Yeah, and that saying has taken you well through your career so far. We have some water, please.
Look. Nah, vodka and orange. Look that. I'm squeezed into this suit. I got this suit fitted about a couple of months ago, and I'm squeezing into it now.
Is this one of the McGregor Augusto?
Yeah, this is an August McGregor line. It looks like the tartan for the Scots. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that. That's why I rocked this one.
Look, you may have bought a suit. Mayweather's put an 8-foot glass picture of you in his new 19 million home in Beverly Hills. Are you going to reciprocate?
I don't know. It's some house. It's some house. What I noticed from it, fair play to him, it's some porch. It's a $26 million Beverly Hills mansion. But I'm thinking, that house purchase, the tax bill off this fight, the tax bill off the previous bill, and then his good investments, I could be getting a phone call anytime soon to go again, and I'd fucking love that.
There's not out the question. There looked like there was a lot of respect between the two of you after the fight, and even in the build-up, you were enjoying yourself. I mean, if you look back at it now, what was the most memorable or enjoyable part of the whole experience, from the deal getting done, to the crazy press tour, to the fight week itself, and the aftermath?
Cashing the check.
Can you tell us what you did clear in the end? There was reportedly 100 million.
Yeah, well, it's around that. We're still in the counting game. Some people are saying it's this, other people are saying it's that. You know, you get your show money, then you go, you gather all the other information, the gate, the pay-per-view, the sponsorship revenue, the merchandise sales. It's my first time as a promoter of an event. So it's my first time kind of diving into all of these things. So I'm building a nice little team of auditors to go in and make sure that all these numbers that people are telling me are correct. So right now we're in the...
Strike first. If I am your opponent, what do you do?
Well, for me, there are many ways to attack a body. You can attack the knee is real quick. I can parry that, take that knee in. If it's a lazy low hand like that, I can take it down Bruce Lee style. I can hit the ribs. We know he has sore ribs as well. There are many ways I can win this fight. There are many ways I can inflict pain on my opponent and put him away.
How will Aldo try to attack Conor?
Okay, well, Aldo's a very fast guy, and these guys have been wanting to get at each other. The big question is, can Aldo even get to Conor McGregor? Somebody that's got the footwork of Conor, the awkward styles, constantly is changing between an orthodox and a southpaw stance. So if Aldo can come out here and try to engage with Conor, that's where we're going to find out. Does his speed trump the notorious ones?
Are you going to take the fight to him, or are you going to let him bring it to you?
As soon as the bell rings, I'm going to go charging forward, open palm, and let the shots fly. Break him down shot by shot. He will crumble.
You know, you seem pretty curious. Why don't you try taking the fight to Conor? Why don't we do that? I feel like you've been sizing him up.
Yeah, let's go.
I feel like you've been eyeballing him a little bit.
Oh, that was quick. That was quick.
Did you make the 30 seconds you had talked about earlier?
From there, I'm done, right? From there, I'm finished.
I think so, yes.
Wow. I'm glad we were just faking it, because he just looks mean.
Do you like that Sports Center
Looks
to fall
mean.
back?
That's it. I'm brave and I'm confident, and I'm going in. I'm going in to represent martial arts as a whole. A true martial artist can overcome any stipulation, any rule set. In my mind, this is Bruce Lee stuff. Be like water. You know, if water enters the cup, it becomes the cup. So this is me entering into a different sport, different rule set, but I will become that sport and that rule set and excel.
There are those who have said that this isn't a sporting contest, that this is all about money. It's been called everything, and you've heard the comments. A circus, a joke. When you hear those kinds of things, how do you respond?
You know, I've heard this every step of the way. He's just a joke. The Joker, I've been called. Until they are in there, then it is no joke. So step by step, one enters, they say the same thing, it's all a joke, he's not for real, he's only talk, he only got here because he's this and that. And I go in and I put my opponent away, I do exactly what I said I would do. Now we're in a new game, it's just another day for me.
Take them high heels off. Yo, it's crazy if you think this man stands a chance. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read.
You had never met him before your world media tour. What did you come to learn about him during that time?
You can't, I didn't really learn much about him. He's a small individual.
He doesn't intimidate you?
Not one bit. I mean, not only am I going to beat him, I'm going to beat him under the specific rule sets that he has, that favor him. It's not a true fight. We're not fighting under no rules or mixed martial arts rules where they...
You just very good at kind of making sure that you don't know that everybody expects you to win, or does that matter? Does it add extra pressure that there's a weight of expectation?
Well, you're going to know, you know what I mean? If people are, like my next opponent, people are writing this guy off, you know, he's a tough English man. A lot of people are writing him off already, you know, so I don't really play into that, you know what I mean? You just, again, focus on your training, focus on what you've been doing in the gym or on the pitch, so to speak, you know what I mean? So just don't believe your own hype, you know what I mean? Go out, keep calm, and the performance will come, you know what I mean?
You've obviously got a special relationship with your coach.
Yeah.
Like he's considered to be the guru of the sport in Ireland, really.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about him?
Yeah, man, I've been with John since day one, you know, with my coach, and he's a genius when it comes to this thing, when it comes to unarmed combat, you know. You wouldn't know looking at him, he's a small guy, you know what I mean, but he'd tie you up in a ball, and he knows the human frame like no other, you know what I mean, so. But again, he builds my confidence up and makes me feel like I'm better than, makes you feel like you're better than you are, you know, and without me actually knowing, you know, that he's actually trying to do that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, not too forward, like, but building up your confidence on a subliminal level, nearly, you know what I mean? That's what.
John always put it to me is that we can change this, and do something that people haven't seen before, you know what I mean?
Talent. He wasn't necessarily more talented than anybody else, and I trained some pretty high-level athletes before I met Conor as well. But what made him a little bit different was I could see right from the beginning he was very curious about how jiu-jitsu worked and how martial arts worked. Whereas some guys might come in and they'll train hard when they're in the gym, and then they kind of switch off, go home and do other stuff. I could see Conor was pretty early on fairly obsessive. He would be always thinking about it outside of training. When he came into training, he always had kind of interesting questions, or he was always questioning what I would show him, and he'd maybe come up with his own way of doing things. So as a coach, I've noticed that over the years that the guys who tend to get better quicker are ones that are thinking about it a lot more.
I know growing up and all, when I was really young, it was always something I thought about, you know what I mean? I had some situations where people would say something or something would happen, you know what I mean? And I might, you know what I mean? I felt like I needed to be able to defend myself, you know what I mean? You know, so if I'm walking down the street and something happens and someone starts something, you know what I mean? I walk by a group of people and they're saying something, and things like that happened a few times, you know what I mean? And I said, right, this I'm going to go and train. If anyone says that to me, then they're going to know about it, you know what I mean? That's how I started. I remember walking back from school, walked by a load of blokes, some load of youngsters, and I was just on my own, little kid, my school bag and all. And he started saying something or whatever, and I just turned away, and then he came running at me, and I just ran off. There was about 6 of them. So instead of going and bringing my school bags, I emptied out all my school bags, and I had like a dumbbell, you know, a weight off a dumbbell. And I took that out, took the weights off the dumbbell, and I just stuck the dumbbell in my bag, and I always used to walk home with the bag a little bit open, ready to go. In case and I was just walking to school with no school books or no nothing, and then walking home and nothing. Just walking in with that little barbell. And I used to have a little joke, and I'd plan I planned what would happen if I came across or if something happened, you know what I mean? I had a little routine. Like even there used to be a punch bag at the back, and instead of going out and punching it, I used to go out and hit it with the barbell. Just like that, because I knew it was a big solid steel bar. I just wanted to hit them enough so I could get away and get myself to safety. I just got into it, not really, I didn't care about sport. Like, I don't care about sport fighting, I still really don't. I didn't get in it to be the All-Ireland champion or the world champion. I didn't get in it, I just got in it so people would say, right, this guy can do this. Or this guy does a bit of training, or does something, we'll just watch him, or we'll just leave him alone. That was how I started doing it. And then, turns out, I was good at it, you know what I mean? And that's it, I just got lost in it then, and it became more than just that. I met Tom Egan, who was the first Irish guy in the UFC 93 when they came to Dublin. He used to teach me how to grapple, I used to teach him how to box, and we'd have a little scrap at the end of it. And then we were doing that for a while. I'd stay up here from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then come home. And then we found out he knew about John's, or had heard about John Kavanagh's straight back gym, and you can go and actually train properly in a gym, like not just in a shed, which is what we were doing.
Yeah, Conor, like at the beginning he went through a really good spell. He was competing well, he was training hard. And then he gets to get into those kind of late teens problem years when he was 18, 19, 20, and maybe he went a little bit off-road, and we kind of missed him for about a year in the gym.
And that's it, I just was in and out of the gym, and I'd come, I'd fight, then I'd off for 2 months, then I go back, you know what I mean? That was the kind of relationship I had. And then one time, my first loss, he put me as the headline of one of the shows, John did. Everyone would kind of hear that I was doing this new thing, I was doing this thing, this cage where you can kick and do magic. I mean, that was kind of, so a lot of people come out to see me, and I don't know, I felt a lot of pressure, and it was funny because it was where my mind was then, and I was kind of like anticipating a loss, you know what I mean? You nearly know when, you nearly tell yourself if you're going to win or lose, and these are the first time, but those losses kind of helped me realise about the mental side of things, and compared to what way I am now, compared to what way I am there. Like anyway, I ended up losing that fight. It was like my fourth, I think it was 3-0, I went to 3-1 there. And then I don't know, I had tickets to sell as well. Another way you sell tickets for the show, and it was my coach. But I was getting tickets at 30 euro for a ticket, and I was selling them all my friends, and they were just coming at, I was getting 30 quid here, and then 3 hours later I was getting another 30 quid. So I was kind of dipping and dabbing into it, you know what I mean? So before I knew it, it was like 600 quid that was gone. and I was like, right, I'm just not going to go back. I don't know, I was just young and stupid basically, and then a while went by, and then Tom got the contract then, and John had heard that I was getting into a lot of trouble, which I was out doing no good, you know what I mean? I wasn't doing anything productive, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting in my house, depressed down my head one night after being out on a weekend partying and doing all sorts of shit, and John shows up at my front door.
It was actually a phone call from his mother that prompted me to call up to his house, and she rang me and asked would I have a word with him and tried to get him back training. So I called up, and we had a very frank discussion. You know, I just told him I thought he was throwing away a lot of ability and a lot of promise, and just basically wasting it, hanging out with friends that were maybe not really good friends to be hanging out with. And in fairness, he took it to heart, and that was, I guess, one of the big turning points in Conor's career, because he came back with a vengeance. He really came back full on in training, and he took that second opportunity by the horns, and since then I'm basically trying to kick him out of the gym. Like when I get him in here, that's it, he's here for the day, and he trains harder than pretty much anybody in the gym. He's one of the hardest workers. So I guess that was one of his, that was a big turning point for him, and it was kind of a nice thing that I remember at his, when he won his first Cage Warriors world title, his mother was at it, and when I was walking out of the cage, she kind of grabbed me and stopped me and said, do you remember that day I got you to come up to the house to talk to him? I suppose it's a bit like a movie moment. She was a bit teary, and it was kind of a nice happy ending to the story. I should say happy beginning, because I really feel Conor's only kind of starting